made a tattoo machine, a working one, out of Legos, dude, and a Walkman motor.
What has been your craziest client story?
Back in the day, we used to do walk-ins. Heavier set lady comes in, I walk up and I was like, hey, what do you want to get tattooed? And she's like, oh, I want to get, a tattoo that says, hit it like a champ, with a pair of boxing gloves. I'm like, all right, cool. Where do you want to get it? She goes, right here on my ass. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go back, draw it up, bring her back, put the stencil on, start tattooing her. I'm about midway through the tattoo, and this is on her ass. And I have her straddling the chair, ass in my face, and she just lets it rip, dude. She just, and I'm like, oh, roll back the chair, like, fell back on the floor. Tony's over here laughing his ass off. And this chick, what'd she do? She goes like this. Oops, I'm sorry. And dude, I almost threw up. It was like, it was up, bro. Up.
I had a good one. I had a kid come in wanting a tribal tattoo, and it was his first tattoo, and he brought his mom in, and he was super confident. We drew like this huge tribal thing on. He laid down, I like touched him with the needle. Instantly, he like sits up like Frankenstein and starts yelling at his mom, like, why would you let me do this? Like, f you, like it was crazy. We got like maybe 5 minutes in and he's in his car taking a nap. He had yelled at everyone at the shop already. He was over it. That's all he has still. Just like a little bzz. It's my favorite. His mom was not happy.
No?
Maybe somewhere around like 15, 20 years ago, I was tattooing this woman that came in and wanted to get a handprint of her boyfriend's hand. Kind of like when you take your kids to do drawings, and they do the turkey outline.
The turkey hand?
She totally got that dude's hand on her butt cheek. But it was literally just that. And the guy was ginormous, and she was like super small. So the handprint was pretty much from lower back to hamstring.
She had a Whopper Jr. hand on his butt?
It was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Dude, and then she came in with like one of those bodysuits that like, she just went zzz, and it was like super awkward. I was afraid she was gonna fart in my face.
Oh my God, dude.
She probably did, but I didn't probably smell it, dude. It was the worst ever.
Probably one where I was damn near sexually harassed. Yeah, this lady might have taken a couple of those little goofy pills, and yeah, she kept persistent on pulling while I'm trying to do this four-eyed cat on her. And she just gets me. I was like, lady, I'm in the fucking zone here, and meanwhile, her nephew's like several feet away. I'm just like, dude, yeah. And I get to do this four-eyed cat, so all my worries on this. I was like, I'll kiss you later. God, we just do this.
I know some of your crazy clients, like Bunny Ranch Girl.
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of crazy clients, I feel like, but I don't really.
Yeah,
they're pretty tame.
But we tattoo next to each other, so it ends up kind of being like both of our clients.
Yeah, I'll talk to her clients, but not to mine.
Sometimes he ends up jumping into my tattoos, but I had a client who was telling me she runs a brothel in Guatemala, and that was fun. She was like showing us the security camera video, like live footage of the brothel in Guatemala.
Yeah.
That was fun.
They coordinated, she's gonna go work there for a month.
No, I'm not.
I have maybe too many crazy client stories. Before I moved to Chicago, I tattooed on the Strip in Las Vegas. So I saw some. I think that is like one of the few remaining like tattoo industry trenches of like warfare. Is Las Vegas Strip tattooing. Probably among the more tame stories, but along the grosser end. Just seems like totally mindless tattoo etiquette just out the window. It's very dusty in Las Vegas, and a whole family came in to get matching foot tattoos, and they'd all worn sandals all day and decided that since they were just gonna have to clean off their feet anyway, they would just come right to the tattoo shop. So it was a very gross foot day. It was like I was washing off like fake tan. It was so grimy. Wash your feet. Just wash your feet.
Probably like my second year of tattooing, I got a guy coming in and I was doing a full chest piece, 2 days in a row, 1 day, 2 day. And he had been tattooed a lot. He had full sleeves and everything, so I thought he was all good. But he didn't eat enough when he came, so I asked him, did you eat enough food? And he's like, no, I didn't. All I ate was an edible brownie. I was like, oh, fuck. You better go get some food real quick. So he went over to McDonald's, grabbed some food. We waited a little bit. I started tattooing him. About a half hour in, he's like...
He dies?
Even worse, dude. It's kind of embarrassing.
Worse?
He's like, dude, can we stop for a second? I gotta take a break. And he stands up. He doesn't look so good. He pukes on the ground. He face plants into his puke. And then he was really tired and kind of wanted to pass out. So I put him on the couch and he fell asleep for 3 hours. Then for the next 3 hours, I just played Fortnite with his friend that came.
Did he... Did you clean up the puke or did he clean up the puke?
I did. I cleaned up the puke on the floor because I'm a gentleman and I don't
So
want
he
my
passed
shop.
out and I turned him on his back and I continued to
Stay still.
He's convulsing with puke all over him and I'm just like, gotta get paid, bro.
I really don't think I have a crazy client.
What about the ones that harass you all the time or sexually harass him? Those are kind of crazy.
Yeah. He came in. Well, that was your fault too, though. That was your fault that I got harassed. Because...
That's crazy.
You were just throwing out there that, you love Asians, and he was like, oh, I've never had an Asian. And then he looked at me, and he started getting getting ideas in his head. And then he was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And then he came back, and he was like, I'm just waiting in the bathroom for you to come. And I was, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, he's also drunk, but.
One time, this guy, everyone in the shop had some crazy idea to do the one chip challenge.
He signed a
Tony.
disclaimer. It was his, no, go ahead.
And he's like, I can do this. I do hot stuff all the time. I'm Indian. Hand me one of those chips. And his wife was like, I don't know if you should do that. And I was like, I don't know if you should do that either. We're doing a tattoo session. Mind you, we're in the middle of a tattoo session.
Did he eat the whole chip? Or
He
was it
ate the
just-
whole chip, dude.
I thought he took just a bite.
That was Gary.
Well, we all took one small bite, but this person eats the whole
The whole thing. And then for the next hour and a half, he's in the fetal position over by our front desk.
Yeah,
And I'm in the
true.
back playing games again.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Half of my job is playing games, apparently.
If you were an apprentice, what was the worst thing you did as an apprentice?
My tattoos. Rick once showed me, Rick Cerna, you dick, once showed me how to place a stencil on a person. He did this by shaving my entire forearm. He put stencil stuff all over it, and he just wrapped the whole fucking sheet around it. Yeah, it looked like I fisted a fucking Smurf. Dude, just mad purple blue, yeah. Just scrubbing it for hours. Yeah, it must have been there for days.
I worked in a tattoo shop during the time when disposable tubes were not readily available. I was scrubbing steel tubes, and we just had a sink. And we just would get it all soapy, let them all sit, and then just scrub them each individually with a pipe cleaner. And I remember I was holding tubes in, rubber gloves, wet rubber gloves, super gross situation, and I dropped one, and it fell into the water, and much like a turd hitting the bowl, it blooped, and one drop of water hit me directly in the eyeball, and I thought, that's it. Whatever's in that sink is in my eyeball now. I don't think I bothered any other part of my body except particularly that eye. With just one single soapy drop of just the richest soup of biohazard.
It was still my first year learning to tattoo, and I gained a lot of trust by everyone in the shop. So they're like, all right, you're good, you could do this tattoo. Everyone leaves, my mentor leaves, everyone's gone, it's just me and my client and her boyfriend, and
He passes out and pukes.
no. I wish he passed out. No, but the more I'm doing it, the more I'm like, this doesn't really look like the picture. And then I was like done. And I was like, this doesn't look that great. I kind of feel bad asking money for this tattoo.
Oh, man.
So I was like, yeah, I'm done with the tattoo, but you don't have to pay me. I was like,
Were you like those internet photos where it's like pay $50 for this lion and it looks all scribbly? And
was
then
fucked
it's like
up,
pay
dude.
$500.
I don't know. I never saw the lady again, but she came back later, and my mentor was like, it wasn't that bad, bro. I saw it.
Yeah, it looks like a Picasso.
But she never came back, so it had to be not that good.
Oh man,
It sucked.
I think I remember covering up something like that.
The worst thing I did as an apprentice, I just took like a random 2 weeks off.
Yeah, you would.
So there was that. That was a little frowned upon at the time.
You didn't listen to anything.
I don't listen
Ever.
to anybody. I never have, and I never will.
So,
I'm a terrible person to try to teach anything.
yeah. But it worked fine, so
Worked
you
out.
got
Did
that.
square up.
I didn't apprentice. I kind of just tattooed out of my house for a couple years. Gave my friends some pretty shitty tattoos. I mean, I started off with the Amazon coil machine. I was running it probably at like 10 volts and just going to town. So I've done a lot of wrong. Trying to make up for it now.
So my apprenticeship was kind of weird, right? So weirdest shit that I ever did, let's call it in the cycle of learning the craft, right? So I started off tattooing, actually doing cover-ups. My first fucking tattoo was cover-up. And we made a tattoo machine out of fucking Legos, a Walkman motor, some bingo chips, paper clip and a fucking needle and Indian ink, right? And guy moves into the neighborhood, and neighborhoods was sectioned off. Like, you were this gang from this neighborhood. You couldn't come in each other's gang neighborhoods. And this guy was in a different gang, moved into our neighborhood, not a gangbanger, but this guy was. But these guys in our neighborhood didn't like that he came in here with all these other affiliating gang tattoos all over him. And they threatened him, and he's like, I need help to get rid of these fucking things. So I started covering them up with a bullshit fucking handmade tattoo machine. Saved this fucking guy's life, man. Seriously, they were really on the verge. They gave him a week before he was gone. So I saved his ass with that. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing in the first place, right? I made a tattoo machine, a working one, out of fucking Legos, dude. And a Walkman motor.
All right, real quick, I want to take a break and give a shout out to the sponsor of our channel, Mad Rabbit. Mad Rabbit is a tattoo aftercare company that has something for everyone. Whether you're a new tattooer or a longtime veteran, they've got you covered. So head on over to madrabbit.com and check out all they have to offer. And be sure to use code PONY20 to save 20% off your entire order. All right, let's get back to it.
Do you have any crazy shop stories? Anything wild that's happened at the shop?
I did work for a shop that was on a reality TV show, so, you know, it was wild. They hosted a lot of parties. They hosted, at the shop that I was at previous, they hosted a New Year's Eve party, and it ended up in what do you call it when people have guns and they're like waiting to see who's gonna draw first? A standoff? A standoff. And then, yeah, got real crazy real quick. So that was probably the craziest shop story, because we were all like barricaded inside the shop and we couldn't be let out because there was like people that showed up that were outside with guns and stuff. And I didn't sign up for this, you know? I just want a tattoo.
Gary and I used to work at a shop, and there was this guy called Bernard that would come in. And he'd come in and he'd speak a different language. He'd always have one of those like the Fisher hats. He'd wear these, like a few coats, a bunch of jewelry. He would always have like grocery bags.
Prepared.
And he would have like quarters or coins in his ears. And he would come in and he would like put his hands on the counter, talk to everybody in a language nobody knew, you know? And he would crack himself up, and then he would take his teeth out and show them to people.
What the fuck?
And then like want us to hold him, and we'd all like try to push him away, and then he'd put his teeth back in, and he'd continue to tell a story. He would crack himself up, pick up his bags, and then just walk out of the shop.
There was a guy, he was probably homeless or, you know, some sort of drug addict or something. He used to come in with Walgreens bags full of like deodorant, shampoo, razors, anything in the bag for $1 each, right? We let him in, bringing in shit that he stole and whatever, we'd fucking buy it. Who gives a shit? And he comes in one day, I'm tattooing. The way the shop was at the time, you walked into the shop, there was right at the front door, front counter, you had to walk around, and my station was right in the front window, okay? So I saw the guy walk by, see him come into the shop. Underneath the front desk here, we used to have a cash register. He fucking reaches over the goddamn counter, his whole body, grabs the cash register, rips all the wires out, turns around and runs out the shop. And I'm tattooing. I pulled one glove off, and if you're familiar with tattooing, anybody watching, we always have a wipe rag where we're wiping, you know, ink, blood, shit like that, plasma, whatever. So I left that fucking glove on with that fucking bloody wipe rag in my fucking hand. I chased that son of a bitch down the street, kicked his feet out from underneath him, got him on the floor, and I shoved that fucking rag down his goddamn throat.
Get the fuck out.
Picked up the cash register, and I was about to beat the fuck out of him with it, and I turned around and I look, and everybody's standing there with their fucking cell phones recording the shit. So I was like, he stole my fucking cash register. And I went back into the shop, threw the fucking cash register down, put my gloves back on, went tattooing like nothing ever fucking happened.
I used to have this one guy come in, and he would ask my clients for money, and I was like, dude, get the hell out of here. I had to get the broom and chase after him.
Like the Sandman?
Like the Sandman.
Yeah. It's like our shop now, right? We got a guy called Garrett in the back.
Garrett? The quietest guy in the fucking shop.
Yeah, he's like a statue.
It's like, hey, you tattooing?
What? What?
Oh my God.
I love it. He crushes it. I want to be like Garrett.
Silent but deadly.
That is what they call him.
That's Garrett.
What has been your best tip? Like the coolest gift or weirdest gift you've ever received?
Prison shake. Yep. Yeah, it may or may not have came from Division 11. Yeah, but I have in a shadow box a shiv. Yeah. He said they made it from the steel like lights. You know what I mean? That thin sheet metal. Yeah, they peel that off, then they sharpen it, and it's wrapped with the DLC clothing, allegedly. Yeah. Yeah, so that's probably like my most prized possession. Yeah.
A girl make me a cake from scratch. It was like the best cake I ever had. Like I ate it and then I was like, maybe I shouldn't just be eating food from people I don't know like that.
It was a TikTok fan, so I don't know if.
Yeah.
What's your name?
No.
What's your name on TikTok? Let's talk about that.
I deleted it.
No, he has it. What's your name on TikTok?
Fat Bussy Wet Wet.
So one of these fans came in and got tattooed and made him a cake. I'm like, and you ate it? Interesting.
And I did, and I ate that shit up, and it was good. It was like a lemon cake. I don't know, but it was good.
She probably soaked her underwear in the cake batter
And
for all
maybe
of it.
she did.
Probably
and
did.
Delicious. Thank you.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I got a laminated photo of a girl's cat once, and I got to pick which one I got. She had a set of 5 of them, but it was like super valuable to her. So like if I couldn't have 2, I couldn't pay her for 2. I could only pick 1 cat picture. Had that for quite a while. That was fun.
I think one of my coolest tips, I feel like, was I tattooed a guy from Sam Adams. He was talking about all these beers that they were coming out with, and he brought us a whole like stack, like towers of beer cases, and then brought me some like pint glasses, or maybe a little bit more. It's like 16 ounce. What's the pint? Maybe 16 ounces.
16.
Who's an alcoholic here?
16.
Said, no, we're drunks. Said, I'm a drunk. I don't go to meetings. But he gave us a few of those and a stein, and it was awesome. It was super cool because then we had beers for days, and then when we would have events or for clients, they could just have it. We didn't have to, pay for any of that stuff. It was great.
I should give a caveat first. I tend to tattoo a lot of weird people in the nerd community, and then also like I like to draw them to me, and we just sort of connect over whatever sort of nerdery they're into. I had someone hand carve me a wand. That was pretty cool. I had someone make me a quilt out of like Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy-related fragments that they'd picked up. I had someone crochet a whole like dragon figurine, and that was amazing. I still have that. I keep a lot of these in my station. Like these are forever gifts that will stick around. I'm forgetting probably dozens, but like I get a lot. It's cool.
One of my favorite, most notable gifts that I've gotten as a tip for a client. Now, cash is always king, right? But if any of you guys are married out there, you know, wifey's gonna spend that tip, not me. So, that being said, there's a gentleman I tattooed who's a fireman, and he lost his dog, special dog to him. I'm a dog guy, so I understand how that feels. He was stationed in Iraq, and he brought me this thing that's called a desert rose. And if you look these things up online, it takes the earth and the desert to create one of these desert roses like 1,000,000 years. Like as long as it takes to create a fucking diamond. It's just sand, but it literally looks like a fucking rose made out of compressed sand. And dude, that thing is like amazing. It's a piece of art that was naturally created by the earth, and they're so incredibly rare to find. I think that type of shit is just super fucking cool.
I had a client make me a little baby shirt for my daughter that said sister on it. She was gonna be my youngest one. And she made it and brought it in a bag and everything. And that was probably the best for me because she just really went out of her way to do that. So I hold that one dear.
Best tip I've ever gotten, I still remember to this day. My high school art teacher, Mr. M, told me art is an experiment. And I was like, that's the best thing you could say, because you're never wrong. You're just finding a different way to do it. Does it work? Does it not work?
Let me rephrase that.
Oh, I don't know.
Like a gift, like a tip, like
monetary.
A tip?
Tip, yeah.
Oh, we said tip.
And then I followed it up with, that's the weirdest gift you've ever received.
A verbal tip could be a gift.
Oh, I said, thanks for the tattoo, kid. Here's a tip.
Don't die.
Have you ever had a stalker client post-tattoo?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you can say that, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you know, when you deal with bikers and bangers, you know what I mean, you're gonna upset a few, you know, ruffle some feathers. Yeah, get some nice little, not so nice feathers, but yeah, no, you just do what you can. Yeah. That block button, man, thank God for that, yeah.
I never had really stalker clients that, you know, because I always talk about my wife. I have pictures of her all over the fucking shop. So like it's, yeah, no.
I feel like if I answer this question, they're gonna see it and they're gonna know I'm talking about them. So I'd rather not say that. Yes. Let's just say yes. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
I don't have a stalker story, man, to be honest.
Nobody's ever like stalked you? Tom, your tattoos are great. Tom, post my story. Tom, how come you didn't post my tattoo? Tom.
Nope. If they start stalking me, they'll be like, this guy lives a pretty boring life. Why am I stalking him?
Nope. Just Pony. When I met Pony, all he would ask me is about video games. Hey, Raph, do you play this? Hey, Raph, do you play that? Hey, Raph.
Hey, Raph, I saw you online last night. You want to play?
I was like, absolutely, Pony.
This guy. You're such a jerk.
No, Pony's the greatest.
Yeah, he's really great. Watch his stuff.
Maybe not stalker clients. I've dealt with weird people in the industry, for sure. I've had more than a few people hit me up for various types of pictures. Either nudes or feet are the most common. I have never tattooed with my feet out, so that's interesting that they would approach me for that, but it's happened more than once.
Maybe that's why. Maybe
Maybe it's because they're covered. I don't know. You'd be making better tip money probably. But,
Do you want the standard appointment or the open-toed
right?
appointment?
Apparently, open toad's the way to go.
No, I don't think anyone's ever tried to stalk me. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I feel left out or if I feel privileged by that. I guess that would depend on the nature of the stalker, like the, benevolence, malevolence spectrum. It'd be cool to have like a fairy godmother style stalker who's just like making my life easier as a whole. But I wouldn't want someone who's like, don't send me like a pig's heart or like a, don't steal my shoes. I guess you don't really get to pick that though, so it's not really, it's probably best that I have not had a stalker. And I guess I can't know that I haven't had a stalker either. It's really possible that I have and just have been totally oblivious. I don't know how I feel about that either. I mean, I do have student loans, so that's kind of like having a stalker. They find me.